Hey there, welcome in. It's Heather with Heather's Healing, and I thought I would come on here and pull some cards and get a message for the upcoming week for the collective here on YouTube. So we are looking at the week of December 1st through December 6th, 2024. So welcome in. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you are doing well. And I can't believe we're in December. This year has gone by so fast. It's crazy. All right, so calling in the guides and guardians for all of those that are watching this video here today for the collective YouTube group here, asking for a message for this upcoming week, advice and guidance. What do we need to know as we navigate the week ahead? Let's go ahead and pull 4 cards, and then we'll do an oracle card, and yeah, let's just see what comes through. All right, so 4 cards for this upcoming week. What do we need to know? Advice and guidance on this upcoming week. Off to a good start. We've got the World, Ace of Pentacles in reverse. That's been coming up a lot lately for people. Very interesting. The Moon, and 9 of Cups in reverse. Some interesting energy here. We do have 2 major arcana cards here. So definitely some big energies coming in this week. So starting off with the World. And I love the World. The World is generally a really positive card. It talks about endings, completions, and a beginning of a new cycle. I also find a lot of balance with the World card, which is really nice. And it does kind of feel like, yeah, we are starting a new month. So, completing of November, welcoming in December. It feels bigger than that to me, though. It does. I believe this is giving us, and this isn't just for this week, but I feel like for the rest of the month and going into the new year, there's a lot of endings coming for people. Lots of, it's kind of like a closing out, which is fairly interesting. It's a closing out. Let me see if I can move this light over so it's a little brighter. And it's almost like we're about to embark on a new adventure, which is exciting and also makes me a little nervous, if I want to be totally honest about that. And we have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. What I'm getting with this card being next to the World card is a reminder to kind of pull yourself out of the world, stay focused on what really matters. Don't get caught up in yes, we have, mundane things that we've got to do and get done, but don't get caught up in the dramas of every day. Don't get caught up in, it's almost like don't get caught up in the negatives that the world is wanting to serve you, because I often see the Ace of Pentacles as an energy that is serving you up something. It is and yeah, it can be a reminder to not excessively spend, to watch your money, that sort of thing. But that's not what I'm feeling from this card for this week. It's really just a reminder to stay more heart-centered, stay out of the drama, stay out of the arguments, stay out of really just the nonsense that really isn't that type of energy isn't going to move you forward. It's not going to bring you anything of value, and it's just going to drain your energy. So being very mindful of that. What's interesting is I feel like these 2 cards really go together, and I feel like these 2 cards are going together. So we've got the Moon coming in. The Moon does bring in, well, it brings in a lot of delusions. And it's the energy of what you think might be really good for you, or what you think might bring in a lot of happiness and joy, doesn't. There's almost, it kind of feels like a little bit of a trickster type of an energy here, where there might be an offer, or there might be something that is coming up that on the surface seems really great, but when you get to the meat and bones of it, it isn't what it seems to be. So there does seem to be, I'm just hearing haziness to this week. So be mindful of that. I would, ask a lot of questions if you're not sure about something. It's sort of, what is that saying? Everything that glitters isn't gold. It's that type of energy here. And especially with the Nine of Cups in reverse. So the Nine of Cups upright, I really love. It's a fun energy. It can be, abundance, happiness, good health, good things coming your way. But in reverse, it's disappointment. It can be overindulgence, kind of going along with, something being offered to you or served up to you. This seems really great on the surface. And at first glance is everything that you might want. But when you start looking at the details, you start feeling into it. It's not that. The Nine of Cups in reverse can also be about greed, materialism, being, and again, I'm going to say being caught up in the dramas and getting caught up in things that don't really matter. Really stay focused on what is true for you, what in the long run means a lot to you. I do feel a little bit of escapism coming in here. Both of these cards, the Nine of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, do talk about being materialistic, being very, surface. It's materialism. It's a lot of, it can be really shallow energy. So be mindful of that this week. Not getting caught up in, the shallow waters. Because yeah, there is an energy here of things not being totally clear, but it's almost like the universe is wanting to confirm with you again what is really meaningful to you. And for some people, probably not people that are watching this video, but for some people, the shallow end of the pool is where they want to be. The shallow things are the things that bring them happiness. That's where they are on their path, and there's no judging of that. It is what it is. But I feel like the universe is presenting things to us this week, asking us to confirm, is this still what you want? Or do you want something more? Is this satisfying? Does this still bring you the happiness and joy that at one time it might have? And it kind of reminds me of when you're a kid, your toys bring you a lot of happiness and joy, and then you kind of grow out of that. And then, maybe you go through a phase in your late teens or 20s, maybe even 30s, where partying and hanging out with friends and all of that is super fun, but then that gets old. There's that type of energy here where the universe is asking you and wanting you to look at, does this still bring you joy? Is this something you still want to do? And there's no judgment there. It's just being presented to you to consider. And again, I feel like that's because a chapter is ending, and it's almost like what we are putting our focus on, and this is true all the time, but it feels significant this month that what we are putting our focus on is going to determine the doors that are going to open. I'm hearing for the next stage, which I do feel like when I say doors are closing, yeah, doors are always closing, new doors are opening. That type of stuff is always really happening. But whatever this is, and it's not just this week, it feels like this month, there is an ending and a closing out of a cycle. It feels like it's a big deal. So see what comes up this week. Pay attention. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Pay attention to what's bringing you joy. Pay attention to what's aggravating you, and don't just shove it aside, but really, lean into it a little bit and see what's going on. I feel like we're being asked to kind of delve a little bit deeper into our psyche and our subconscious. And I'm also hearing, pay attention to maybe things that you do, repetitive behaviors. Why are you doing that? Taking a look at that this week too. I feel like we can get a lot of clarity on that as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull an oracle card. So a final card for this upcoming week for those that are watching. And thanks so much for being here, you guys. I do appreciate your support. All right, okay, there we go. So it says turning inward. Card number 40, it says, inside this veil of bone and flesh, I lay my soul to sleep. All the truths within thy breath have come to greet me. And this does really feel like kind of like that ending of the chapter. Truths, things that you thought were hidden, maybe things you thought you had overcome are coming back around for another cycle. It's also, I feel like, a reminder that, well, turning inward, so again, looking at that subconscious, but it's also a reminder that you can't run from yourself. We can't run from ourselves. We are always here. We can't get away from ourselves. I do want to see what the keywords are for this card for 40. Yeah, so exactly what we were talking about: connection, self-discovery, navigating inner landscapes. So take a look at what's coming up. I'm also hearing take a look at what's coming up in dream time. There's a lot of, it's like our subconscious is kind of unraveling itself. That happens all the time, I believe, in our sleep. But really pay attention to that. If there are certain aspects of your dream that are really standing out, things that you're remembering if you don't normally remember your dreams, pay attention to that too. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I'll talk to you soon.